Hi, everyone. It's Mitch from PickDogs.com here with the Puck Dogs and Steve Monahan. Still looking for a nickname for Steve, but we got a bunch of other names we call him, but none of them I don't think are family friendly. But of course, we got a few games today. Not as big as a schedule as yesterday, but I'll tell you what, man. Yesterday, a few surprises, but a few that just went kind of to the script. Chris was the winner on that North Carolina Duke game with the points, but we had plenty of winners too. I said chew them up and spit them out, the Zags, and I think they did that with St. Mary's, and we had a bunch of other ones. I said Ole Miss outright against Florida, Oregon State outright against Oregon. We had a bunch of those yesterday. My other outright, USC, didn't win outright, but they covered pretty easily. Before we get started, I want to give a little bit of a plug here and a thank you to our friends at FootJoy. I wear FootJoy spikes. I only wear FootJoy spikes. And that's not because I'm a FootJoy snob or anything like that. They just fit the best. All right? Disclaimer. But they have a 2-year warranty on leakage on their shoes, and I had a leak in one of my foot. I always keep 2 pairs of rotation, right? And I had a leak in one pair of my shoes. I sent them back in. The model of the shoe that I had, they don't make it anymore, and they sent me their latest, greatest, newest shoe. They sent me the Tour X Boas, 100% free. These are $229 retail list, man. They have the BOA for tightening the shoe. You see that? It's like $229 shoe. They sent it to me 100% free. So that is what you call customer service, man. Of course, I haven't worn these yet, but these are the Tour X BOAs, the brand new, latest, greatest. If a golf shoe could help you, I'm sure this would, but I don't really believe that that's the case. I like white. It's got that slimming effect. Just makes me look bigger. Anything that makes me look as fat as possible, I seem to find.
That's a nice looking shoe.
It's a beautiful shoe, and I appreciate it. But anyways, yesterday I had my rescue club, whatever they call it, the hybrid, because I put it in my bag and I took my 3-iron out. So that's why I have my 3-iron here today. But I don't know if I'm going to put it back in. I hit the hybrid really well yesterday. Really well. So we'll see. A lot of you saw my pictures on Facebook of me playing golf yesterday. The tournament actually is next week at the wrong day. So I was played by myself. I played 3 golf balls out on Wailea Gold, which I still played for free out there, but it's normally $219 a round. So we appreciate it. Thanks to our friends at Wailea Gold Golf Course as well for letting me play and letting me play 3 balls at once by myself with nobody else out there. It was awesome. It was like I got there early. I was all early. I went to the range and all ready. I'm like, where the hell is everybody?
I'm a little early.
I'm a little early. So I played 1 from the tips, 1 from the gold tee, 1 from the blue tee box, and 1 from the white tee box. Played 3 different balls, 1 from each tee box, 3 different types of golf balls. It was, enjoyed myself out there. Ate a couple bananas and called it a day. But anyways.
At least the mongoose didn't get your banana.
No, the mongoose did not get the banana. I'll tell you what, it was a little breezy out there on the ocean yesterday. So I'll have to see it. But I switched. I had my clubs reshafted. I got these recoils. I really like it. It's F4, so it's nice and stiff. But even though it's a graphite, my 3-iron, it's like people always freak out at the golf course because all the clubs now are made to be easy to hit. It's like they make it easier. These cavity back, with this weighting system and stuff like that. It's like this is my 3-iron. It's a butter knife. It's like there's nothing to it. It's like, look at that thing. It's like I don't know. I like blade clubs, man. I don't like those cavity backs. I'm not a big. I can hit the ball reasonable distance, but I'm not a big hitter. So it's like I need to be able to place it into a spot because sometimes I'm not there as quickly as everybody else. So it's like I got to be close. I got to be close. It's my only chance of going low. So I shot at Wailea Gold. I was 3 over on the front and 3 over on the back. So it's 78 on that course, which has teeth. They play a seniors tour event there, and it kills those guys too. It has so many bunkers, and it's ocean, so it's windy. Doesn't matter. Anyways, lots to talk about. Chris, what do you think? Are you? Wait a minute. I know what he's up to. Chris is tailgating for tomorrow's Texas Baylor game. Could be Shaka. And what are the odds of Shaka Smart getting bulimia'd tomorrow at Texas, where they just fire him before he even gets to the locker room after the game? I think there's a possibility of him getting bulimia'd here at this one, because this it just doesn't. I don't like the matchup here.
That was just a complete collapse yesterday.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. They're up by like double digits and then some. And then it was so fast that the lead evaporated. It was literally go to the fridge and get a glass of water fast that lead was gone. And then Texas Tech, I thought they kind of took their foot off the gas. I think they could have really rubbed it in on them, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Not a bad loss for Texas, that's for sure.
Yep. And USC on the money line didn't get it done. Hopefully you guys saw that game. They're up 64-59 with 2 minutes left to go, and they never score another point. To make matters worse, they foul the three-point shooter. Okay, he hits all three. They miss like 6 free throws in a row. They deserve to lose the game. They deserve to lose. They were up by 5 with 2 minutes left to go. They had it. And then they foul a three-point shooter. He hits all three. You never foul a jump shooter. It's like you foul him, hits 3 free throws, and they miss like 6 free throws. I don't know, man. Anyways, we got free picks on every game every day at Pick Dogs. And Auburn, they didn't cover, but they certainly fought the good fight. But that was another one they fell behind big against LSU, came roaring back. Interesting game, that Carolina-Duke game. It was like, that's how you end up having a bad season, losing games like that. It's like when you get the end of the season, it's kind of like, you look at that game and it's kind of like, this is how you go from 17-10 to 10-17, just like that.
Yep. Duke got the calls at the end there. I'm not saying that's why they won, but they were questioning that. Jay Bellis did the game. He was like, they missed the foul, but the comeback was just crazy.
I'm just looking at the recap here of the of this USC Arizona State game, and it was 64-59 with 2:22 left to go in the game. Hitomi hit 2 free throws, and that was the last they scored. Free throws by Arizona State. Then they foul Remy Martin. He hits 3 free throws to make it 64-64. That was it was 64-64 with 2:15 left to go in the game. They lose 66-54 or 64. How is that possible? There's 2 points total scored in the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds of a Division I college basketball game. And we're talking about guys that, Anderson missed 2 free throws. It's like horrific. And then USC still had a chance to win at the end. Martin scored with 19 seconds left to go for Arizona State. USC still had a chance at the end. And instead of going for the 2 and going to overtime, frickin' go for the 3, and the guy bricks it out. Whatever, man. Anyways, most people that quit betting, it's over college basketball. But USC still covered the spread. Let's get to today's action. We got 7 NBA, we got 5 NHL, and we got a nice little Sunday college basketball card where we have kind of like the not in focus teams, and then maybe some other stuff going on. So I'll start it off since everyone else seems half asleep. I'm going to take Washington State here to beat Washington outright on the money line. Okay, they're getting 3 points. They're not going to need it. This is Oregon State, Oregon all over again, except Washington is terrible. So it's like Oregon was good going into this one, but Washington 2-8 in their last 10 games. So you can get into a room of 100 people that watched NFL and college football this season and ignored the beginning of college basketball, and ask all of them who is Baylor's one loss to. And I'm going to guess 98 of them aren't going to be able to say Washington. You know, but this Washington team doesn't look anything like the team that beat Baylor. Nothing. They look like the team that lost to Tennessee, but worse. I like Washington. What are they?
I love that pick. Washington's 0-5 their last 5.
Yeah,
they just stink.
They stink, man.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see on that one. Give me that one. I love that one today.
Chris, what do you think of this gem?
Yeah, I was on the same thing. I had Washington State money line written down. Washington's lost 7 in the last
It's like the match game, right? It's always boobs, right? It's like bosom. Brett, who do you like? I said bosom. Steve's our Richard Dawson. Would bust.
Dawson Riley.
Oh God. I said tits.
I'm not touching Washington with the way they're playing right now. 7 losses in the last 8 games. Yeah, no, there's no reason they should be favored here. Like Washington State money line.
Cougars, unanimous.
Yep. So we got a lot of other college basketball here. Butler, Marquette, Cincinnati, UConn, Wisconsin, Ohio State are really the feature of the early games, along with UCF, Tulsa. I think people care about. Then a lot of this Metro Atlantic stuff, the other MAC, right? Anything in these early games, like 2 o'clock and earlier, that you guys like? Steve?
I actually like Marquette at home. 3 points. You know, Butler going to Marquette. I like Marquette. And I like Cincinnati playing UConn. I'll take the Bearcats there. I think I like those two the most today at that time slot.
Brandon definitely has Cincinnati playing a little better than what we saw, because Cumberland hitting that shot against Wichita State is exactly what the doctor ordered. He needs to play well for them to go anywhere. I mean,
Anywhere.
And he is their chance. And Brandon, I mean, he's his son played at Cincinnati. He's done a nice job coaching at NKU before this. I don't see why Cincinnati struggled so much early, but this is kind of a must-win game for them as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Rod, what are you looking at in this early stuff?
It's really tough. I like Marquette at home too. I think they beat Butler today.
I'm squarely on Butler in this game. I mean, everybody in the world knows it. I always take Butler.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Mitch is on Butler again. It's like I'm like Chris on the Bruins. It's like I've been on Butler for 12 years. It's like I'm not getting off that. That is paid for. This is the Butler desk. That I'm sitting at. This is it's a handcrafted. One day I'll have to show my desk on the show, and you guys will see, and I'll say, Butler paid for this. It's like, when the IRS audited me, the desk was front and center. Go ahead. Rod, is that it for you, Marquette?
I'm looking at that Cincinnati UConn. Give me UConn first half. I think they come out with a little bit of jump and win the first half, and then the Bearcats come back. I like UConn first half.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I like Wisconsin laying the 2 points against Ohio State. Again, it's just home team in the Big Ten. I saw it with Michigan yesterday. I like Wisconsin. Ohio State comes in winning 3 straight, but I think Wisconsin ends that here. I like Tulsa with 2 points against Central Florida. I tried. I couldn't see an angle where Central Florida should be favored. Tulsa's playing way better basketball right now and playing really well on the road, so I'll take Tulsa +2. I also like Niagara +9.5 against Rider. I just think that's way too many points. It should be maybe a 4 or 5 point game at most.
Or pick 'em. Or pick 'em.
Or pick 'em. And I also like Bradley by 12.5 against Evansville. I see it being a 20-point.
Dumpster fire.
I see it being a 20-point game. Evansville lost 8 of their 11 conference losses this year, been by double digits. I don't see that being any different here.
They beat Kentucky, and that was their decade right there.
Yeah. They're not going to top that.
Well, they're not even going to top anything. I mean, they're terrible. They STI.
Over under for conference wins for Evansville 0.5.
Yeah, it's like bad news there. Let's look at the NHL. We got 5 games today. One of them was a spread knowledge pick. We got the early Boston Bruins, Chris. 12:30 start. You can get your Bruins on early, and then get the rest of your day in order. Go sunning out in beautiful. Go lay out on the sun deck in beautiful Toronto. I saw on Facebook some people posting pictures of snowstorms yesterday in weird places like Atlanta, Georgia, and stuff. So I don't know. It was pretty nice here yesterday. So, anyways, Boston, Detroit. We got Buffalo favored now against the Ducks. I kind of like the Ducks in that one, to be honest with you. Blackhawks, mild dog against the Jets. Rangers -180 against the Kings. That line has jumped up a little bit. And the Wild against the Avs. I'm just never wild about the Wild, man. What do you guys think, Chris?
I like Boston on the puck line here against Detroit. It's just Detroit back to playing Red Wings hockey, and I love my Bruins, so
I'm shocked.
Surprise. If you wanted a spoiler, I'm taking Boston on the puck line today. I like Anaheim at plus money against Buffalo. I know Buffalo's at home, but it's still providing no value for me. I can't back Buffalo. Anaheim showed some grit against Toronto, taking them to overtime, so I'll take a shot with Anaheim here. Like the Rangers on the puck line against the Kings, just the Kings on the road, and New York's stepped it up lately, playing better at home. Yep. I like Chicago at plus 105 against Winnipeg. Chicago's making that playoff push, and Winnipeg hasn't really done anything much for me lately, so I think Chicago plus money. And I like Minnesota at home. Colorado on a back-to-back. Minnesota's had time to rest, and they've done their best work at home as well, so Colorado, I think 4-12 in their last 16 in Minnesota, so I'll take a shot with Minnesota here.
All right. So who are your top 3 favorite Bruins of all time? So Steve and I lived in Boston. It was the Terry O'Reilly team during the Terry O'Reilly era. Rick Middleton was on that team, and
okay, we can go on with our Stan Jonathan.
It was like, I mean, I was not a big Bruins fan at the time, and Jerry Cheevers was the coach for 1 or 2 of those seasons. And one of my favorite bits I ever heard on the radio was the day the Bruins cut the cheese. When Cheevers got fired. Today was the day, always known as the day the Bruins cut the cheese.
Wasn't it a Boston game that guy beat the fan with his own shoe?
Yeah, that was Terry O'Reilly and right.
Mike Milbury.
We were there for the Milbury era as well in Boston. He was also on those teams when we were there. Yeah, they were not like a playoff team then, but they acted like they were. Which
They
is,
were thugs.
yeah, it's like Steve and I lived in Boston for actually some of the best Boston sports times they ever had. The Roger Clemens era at Fenway. It was not the best. Well, the Patriots team that lost in the Super Bowl with Tony Eason, the Richard Dent game. We lived there during that whole Celtics run with Larry Bird and Dennis Johnson and Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish.
The Bruins watched that Stanley Cup final against the Oilers in what, 87?
When the lights went out.
When the lights went out. That's right.
Something. One of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched The Meaning of Life last night, and that was Mitch, what a losing, stinking golfer. Steve, Chris, and Rod are straight up guys. Mitch, not so much. Thank you. Wow.
All right, buddy.
I love fan mail. It's like I heard on one of these other shows, that like 3 people watch the show. It's like, I ran into a couple of fans. It's like your mother and your sister. It's like
they had actual fans going and they ran into them.
It's like, I mean, I run into people that watch the show like, twice a year. It's like we have 1.4 million people a month that watch these things. It's like, anyways, man, I can't really say much about that, but the fact that somebody who is an anonymous troll on YouTube doesn't like me, I'm crushed, man. I'm just crushed. How come you don't like me? How come you don't like me? Where's Sam? Sam likes me.
Sam likes me.
Sam's out for a walk. Sam's chasing tail, literally. It's like, what does Sam do? He's either chasing balls, frisbees, or other dogs to hump. That's it. That's what his life consists of. A couple of meals in between, and that's it. Swimming.
One big thing.
It's like swimming, and then he's the biggest suck up in the world. It's like he's laying on the bed. My foot accidentally touches him. He like rolls over onto his back like this, expecting me to like get up at 2 a.m. and rub his belly. It's like, it's not gonna happen for you. So where are we here, Rod? Did you give out your picks here?
NHL? No, we're gonna go. I'm with Chris. Give me Boston on the puck line. There's no value with Detroit. How can you take Detroit? They want the first round pick. They're going to get the first round pick. Give me Boston on the puck line. I love the Rangers today. Rangers on the puck line. The Kings are selling off. They have a couple of guys.
Is there a Mario Lemieux out there this year? Like a Sidney Crosby? Is there a guy out there for this draft? Steve and I are both BU guys, and like Jack Eichel was the guy a few years ago. So it's like, and they've had a few of those guys, but it's like, by the way, I'll take BU to win the Bean Pot against Northeastern tomorrow. I'll make the pick again tomorrow, but it's my other pick.
I don't know if I'd say that there's a generational player like a Lemieux or a Crosby or a McDavid out there in this year's draft. But Alexis Lafreniere, who's supposed to go first overall, is supposed to be really good. He captained Team Canada at the juniors this year, and he played really well. I think I'm personally high on Barrett Hayton, the guy who's dealing with an injured shoulder but scored the game-tying goal against the Russians in the World Juniors. He's going to be very good as well. It's going to be a very good draft. It's a very deep draft.
Anyways, Rod, back to you.
Okay. Boston. Puck line, Rangers, puck line. That's my 2-teamer of the day. The other games, I lean Buffalo over the Ducks. I ain't betting that with a 10-foot pole. Blackhawks and the Jets. I am going to bet this, and I'm going to take the Jets. The Blackhawks are 1-4 the last 5 in Winnipeg. Winnipeg looked pretty good yesterday. Give me the Jets. And Avs at Wild. Give me the Wild. Wild, they're great at home. Avs are on a back-to-back. They snuck out a win yesterday. I think they're going to be really tired. It was a long road trip for them. Give me the Wild here at home today.
All right, we've reached the portion of the show where I grovel for thumbs up. It's not beneath me. you guys can please hit the thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. It costs you nothing. It helps us a ton. So it's just hitting the thumbs up. We got 167 people watching on YouTube and 56 thumbs up. It's not even 30%, man. It's like really not a lot to ask for here. It literally takes a half second. If you're watching on your phone, you just shrink the comments. You hit the little X, you hit the thumbs up, and then it says chat right next to it. Boom, boom. It's 2 button pushes. Yep, these are sweet pinks. These are my blueprint irons. I love these things, man. It's like these are toe tag clubs. These are clubs like that you just. I mean, I might get them reshafted in a couple of years or something, but the heads are just. When you have a muscle back blade, you can just play these forever. They've never changed since I was a kid. I mean, very, very small, very, very little. But you can see that top line, how thin it is. I mean, when you look down at the ball, which is barely bigger than the club face. Let me see if I got a ball here. And of course, I got a ball on my desk. You can see it's barely, the club face is barely bigger than a golf ball. So it's not a lot of wiggle room there. not the most forgiving clubs in the world. But for me, they're just right. Anyways, we'll get back to some college hoops, and then we'll hit the hardwood for some NBA. We got in the next set, we got Houston against Wichita State, Loyola, Illinois against Valpo, Notre Dame, Clemson, Rutgers, Northwestern. We already went over Washington State, and that's it. George Mason, UMass, if you must. Chris, any of those things excite you?
Yeah, like you said, we covered Washington State, but the other two I like Valparaiso getting the 8.5 against Loyola Chicago. I need to see a bounce back from Loyola after being held to 38 against Indiana State. Loyola is not usually the team that kind of blows teams out of the water.
Never.
Valpo has
Never.
Offensively.
Never.
Yeah, and Valpo has what it takes to hang offensively with the Ramblers. So I'll take Valpo in the points. And I like Rutgers against Northwestern. Northwestern's just terrible. This is one of the best teams I can remember seeing take the court. So I see this being a stomping from beginning to end. I'll take Rutgers and lay the 10.5 points.
Funny and true story that Steve is my witness to, and I've shown this before, this text on the live show before, is that Miami was playing, the Patriots are playing the Dolphins, and the Boston guys were just ripping me in our group text. And I take a picture of my TVs, and that game, the Dolphins-Patriots, is in the upper corner, and on the main TV was Loyola Chicago, and this was like in December of that year, and I said, Clayton Custer's on fire. I said, I don't really care, because Clayton Custer's on fire. This is a team to watch. And that's the year they went to the Final Four. I mean, I had no idea they were going to the Final Four, but it was just weird, and it's like I have that text, and it's like, Clayton Custer's on fire, and it's Custer, he was like, it was one of those games, remember, like those Custer games where it's like everything's going in. He had like 5 good games his entire career, and it was like, they were all like those games where it was like the guy from Hoosiers, the religious one, where he has that, Scott, right, where he has that, where just everything's going in, It's like, it's one of those. Rod, what are you thinking? I agree with you on Loyola, Illinois. They're a 4-point win team on their good days, on their good days. Laying 8.5, 9. No way. Inverse line movement there. Rod, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Wichita, Houston. I'm gonna take Houston here. This Wichita team hasn't looked the same in their last few games. They definitely not the way they started the year. Houston's playing better ball. Give me Houston -5. For Clemson, Notre Dame 4-0. ATS their last 4. They were playing good. They're one of the top scoring teams in the conference. Give me Notre Dame +1 and the money line.
Spread knowledge agrees with you. I don't care. I'm still on Clemson. I gave it out as the spread knowledge pick, but I gave out Clemson on my other. Notre Dame's not a good team, man. I don't care what anybody says or what the numbers say. They're a bad team last year, and they have all their same players back. So that's all it is. It's like, let's look at who they played over that stretch. And it's like, So we'll look at Notre Dame's schedule over that stretch. The loss at Florida State by a point, which was a game effort. A loss at Syracuse. A win over Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, and Pitt. Congratulations. That's what I got to say to that. I don't like this team. I think Mike Bray should have taken the UCLA job if he was smart. Because he's a good coach. You can't win in college hoops. And see, when they played the real teams, they lost at NC State, Louisville, then the win over Georgia Tech, so they swept the Georgia Tech series this season. The George O'Leary Bowl, right? Then they lose to Syracuse and Florida State. It's like they're going to lose to Clemson too. Clemson's big on the inside and can hit on the outside. Spread knowledge is going down. So so are the Irish. Steve?
Yeah, I agree with taking Clemson. Clemson's had some big wins this year for Clemson. To your point, Notre Dame is very inconsistent, so I'll take the point with Clemson. I love Rutgers today. I've been watching them. It's like to Chris's point, this is one of the best Rutgers teams in recent memory to be,
more than recent, in memory for me. I don't ever remember a good Rutgers team that's good. They had the one guy that transferred to Florida. A few years ago, and that team was like just a few games below 500. That's the best I remember from Rutgers.
Yeah, so 10.5 points with Rutgers, and I like Houston too at home here against Wichita State, lane 5.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Wichita right now. I'm not sure. All right, move it to the NBA. Interesting night last night. That's why they play the games, right? So we got just 7 games, but this one is a beauty. Got the Thunder and the Celtics with the 3:30 Eastern time start. The Thunder, a 1-point favorite here. To me, this game is a coin flip. It is the coin flip. So I don't know. Steve, what are you thinking here? This Thunder team's so hot, man. The Celtics, so hot. Both these teams 9-1 in their last 10.
Yeah, but with the point spread being it is, I'll take the Thunder at home here. But it's a close game, and they've both been very, very good teams. But I'll take the Thunder at home. Knicks are playing at the Hawks. Knicks on their first 4-game win streak since 2017. I can't even believe I'm saying that. That's 4 in a row.
I love the Knicks yesterday. I don't like them today, but I love them.
I don't that they kind of typically tank when they get down to Atlanta for some reason. But
I love the Knicks yesterday.
I'll take the Hawks here. I think the Knicks are not going to have a 5-game win streak. But I think the Hawks will cover 2 points.
Rod, what do you think of these Thunder Celtics game? It's a pretty good game.
I'm a Boston plus the 1 here. I think they can get a win here in OKC. Well, it is going to be a close game, that's for sure.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I like Boston on the road. I just think they're well coached. Both these teams are well coached, but I like Boston just a little bit more, getting a free point.
How about the Knicks and the Hawks? I almost said the Hicks and the Knox. The Knicks and the Hawks are. What do you think of that one?
You know what? I'll take a stab at the Knicks to keep it going. I don't like this game at all, but I'll take a shot at the Knicks.
See, the 6 p.m. Eastern time start on this game, which is just, I tell you, yeah, you haven't seen sports until you see these 6 and 7 o'clock Eastern time starts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's like I get to Sunday by dinner time. By the time the burrito hits the plate, the game's already all over.
Right.
How about you, Rod? Knicks, Hawks, maybe some Sixers, Bulls, or Wizards, Grizzlies? Any of those 3?
I'm leaning Memphis. I like Memphis today. I think they got a champion. Memphis -2.5 with the Wizards. Take the first quarter in that game over. It's been on the heater. It's like 12-0 or something. It's crazy. Give me the first quarter over. Memphis and Washington.
How about you, Steve?
Yeah, I think I'll go with the Grizzlies here. The Bulls and 76ers. It's 11.5 points, but the 76ers play, obviously very well at home, not so much on the road here. I don't like the Bulls at all. I'm going to take the Philadelphia 76ers rolling today. So I like those two games.
All right, we rounded out. We got the Jazz and the New Look Rockets. We got the Clippers, who lost by 138 points to the Minnesota Timberwolves last night. They gave up 142, 115. I don't know, man. It's one of those games where it's like I'm lucky I didn't lose as much as I could have lost on that game, because I could have end gamed myself into the poorhouse on that thing. But 142, 115. The only thing worse than that would be losing right here to Cleveland. Cleveland. Whew. Well, they lost to a team that was 0-10 in their last 10, and now they play a 1-9 Cleveland team. And then the late game, the Blazers -4.5 against the Heat after that. I don't know what the hell happened in that last Blazers game. I don't know. I still don't know. I still don't understand. If somebody could explain to me what happened in that Blazers game and how, I don't know. How does this game even work anymore sometimes? I think the NBA, in most of the rule changes and most of the things that they've done over the years, they've got it more right than any other sport. They've gotten it more right. Baseball, I think baseball has somewhat got it right, at least as far as the replay, and also now limiting the mound visits. They don't have 100% right, as far as that's part of the game, as far as the actual game goes. But at least they're moving in that right direction. The games still take way too long. The number of pitching change, all that stuff is still too much. But the NBA, they get it right, and then all of a sudden you get a game like that, where it's like, what the hell just happened? It's like, how is that even possible? And it's possible because it happened, right? So, but the Blazers picked to take it to a pretty good Miami Heat team that at the trade deadline, I guess Butler's not playing is what's going on here, but at the trade deadline, the Miami Heat said, we're all in right now, which is guts, straight guts, man, to do that on, this year with this team. And they also said these guys that are problem childs.
Exactly.
We'll see you later. It was
Dion Waiters in particular.
Yeah.
They get rid of him. That's
also Justice Winslow, who's the wind blows in the opposite direction. The guy breaks a toe. It's like, super talented, but eventually you have to get on the court. There's only room in the league for one John Wall. There's only room for one. So you can't have two.
True.
What do you guys think of these three? The Rockets with the new look. I like it. Against the Jazz.
I like it. Yeah. Give me Houston. And give me Portland. Oh, Butler. Butler just seems to be the guy that raises everybody up. Give me Portland here today.
He's good.
He is, yeah. He's like the backbone. He gets everybody motivated, and they all play better when he's in there. So give me Portland today.
I'm in on Portland too. I like the Clippers too against the Cavs. Cavs stink. Like 7.5 Clippers.
I want the money on the Cavs just for whatever, because Leonard's not going to play. He played yesterday. He never plays on a back-to-back, so he's not going to play. Who's left to play? It was ugly yesterday. They might not even try. I don't know. It's a scary game.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm treading lightly on the Clippers. I think they'd like to bounce back here, and there's not many more chances that they have to slip up. And that last night, I think, was one of their strikes that they could use. So I'll tread lightly on the Clippers. I'll take a shot on the Jazz here. I just think that maybe they can keep it within 3 points. They have Gobert on the inside, so maybe he can take away the driving lane for Westbrook. I know they'll be able to shoot from the outside, but I think Utah can at least limit the damage defensively a little bit. So I'll take a shot with Utah. 3 points.
Who's your Final Four for the NCAA men's basketball tournament?
Baylor, San Diego State. Depending on where they get seeded.
They're looking at a 1 right now.
Yeah. So Baylor, San Diego State, Michigan State, and Duke.
Not bad. Rod, you got a Final Four?
You got to go Baylor. I'll go Kansas.
Rod loves Kansas, man. Loves Kansas.
I do. I like Kansas. I like their logo. I don't know what that is. What kind of bird is that? Like, really, what is that?
It's a Jayhawk.
I've never even seen. Do they really have red heads like that? Big yellow beaks?
I'm going to guess so. We'll have to look one up. We'll have to look it up.
Baylor, Kansas, and there's a few. There's so many, man. There's Baylor, Kansas, San Diego, and then there's so many in there.
Yeah, that's why it's 4. Just pick one.
I know.
We're not holding you to it. You got to do it again next Sunday, so it's like just pick one. It's like while we still have a pulse.
I'll go Louisville.
Louisville. There you go.
Okay, Baylor, Kansas, San Diego, Louisville.
Okay, Steve.
I had Louisville, Gonzaga, Baylor, and Auburn.
Okay, I got Baylor, Seton Hall, Butler, and Kentucky. So those will be mine. I also think my outside guys, Villanova, and it's definitely going to be a Big East team. I mean, definitely at least 1, if not 2, is my guess. But anyways, I think Baylor is the consensus here. The other ones, I think all the ones that everybody mentioned, I think are all legitimate. I mean, Auburn went through last year, and that stuff. But anyways, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Let's start the recap. Chris, it's you.
All right. Starting the ice, I like Boston on the puck line -1.5 against Detroit. I like Anaheim +106 against Buffalo. Rangers -1.5 against LA. Chicago +105 against Winnipeg, and Minnesota and even money against Colorado. A 2-team parlay. This is actually the same as Rod's. I like Boston on the puck line, Rangers on the puck line. College hoops. I like Washington State money line against Washington. Wisconsin -2 against Ohio State. Tulsa +2 against Central Florida. Niagara +9.5 against Rider. Bradley -12.5 against Evansville. Valparaiso +8.5 against Loyola Chicago. And Rutgers -10.5 against Northwestern. NBA, I like the Clippers -6.5 against Cleveland. Utah +3.5 against Houston. Boston +1 against Oklahoma City. Knicks +3.5 against Atlanta. And Philadelphia -11 against Chicago.
Okay. Rod, you're up.
NHL, I like Boston line. That's my two to Boston and the Rangers. Also taking, I like Jets on the money line, Wild on the money line. College hoops, I like Houston -5 over Wichita. I like Rutgers -10.5 over Northwestern. I like Notre Dame +1 over Clemson. I like Washington State +3 over Washington. And I really like Bradley -12. NBA, give me Houston, Portland, and Boston. Memphis money line, and Memphis first quarter over the Washington one.
Steve?
Yep. So college hoops today. Give me Marquette at home against Butler, 3 points. Houston against Wichita State, lane 5. I'm all in on Washington State. Washington we talked about is really bad. I like the Bearcats of Cincinnati against UConn today. Give me Wisconsin over Ohio State. We got Tulsa, got +2 against Central Florida. I like that. Niagara +9.5. Rider. Loyola Chicago Valpo game. You made a +8.5 with Valpo. Clemson +1. Notre Dame. I love Rutgers laying a 10.5 against Northwestern. NBA. I do it for only hockey is Rangers tonight against the Kings. So I'll take that on the money line. The Atlanta Hawks in the NBA, 3.5 over the Knicks. I'll take the Thunder at home against the Celtics. I think it's 1.5. The Grizzlies against the Wizards I like the 76ers to blow out the Bulls today at home. Give me the Rockets against the Jazz, lane 4. I'm going to stay with the Clippers over the Cavs, lane 7.5, even though Leonard's probably not playing, like you said. And I'll take the Trailblazers at home against the Heat, getting 4.5. So
I've given out all my picks already, so you guys have them all in video and talked about this. So you can get all my picks on YouTube on every game today that I made a pick on. So nothing changed. I also did the spread knowledge picks, so check those out. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to check us out at Pick Dogs. I got a big announcement coming up. This is the week that the announcement. If it's not coming this week, it's probably not coming. So we'll have that, and then we'll have other big announcements. It won't matter, but hopefully it happens. Anyways, let me bring the guys back in. Boom, boom, boom. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks to everyone that took the half a second to hit the thumbs up. Helps us a ton. Costs you 0. And back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I believe that either later this week or maybe next Saturday. We talked about on Saturdays doing an early, late show. I also might be starting a first look show at night. And I'm not expecting a ton of people to tune into it, but we'll have a bunch of different guests, these guys, and whoever else wants to come join us. We'll get Charles and some other guys, but we'll start like a first look show, kind of like a night before, just first look, quick hitters, not like the in-depth,
Opening lines?
kind of like opening lines, but plus whatever else the hell we feel like talking about that day. It'll be after dinner, so I'll be, for most people, for me it'll be before dinner, but for most people it's after dinner, so they're gonna be sleeping anyway. So, all right.
I'll be back Tuesday.
What's that?
I'll be back Tuesday.
Rod's out tomorrow.
I got big appointment. 2-hour drive.
2-hour drive. That's what happens. For here, in 2 hours, you could drive around our entire island almost.
Nice.
2 hours.
That's what I get for living in a small town. I live in a small town, and you go anywhere, you got to drive. So
I live in a small town too. Not as small as yours, but small. I live in a real small town. It's like, believe me, everything's it's like they put the paper sign on the door, out to lunch. It's like back after. It's like they don't even say like they don't even say back at 1 p.m. or whatever. Back after lunch. It's like It's just, it is what it is. You know, it's kind of, you have to accept it. You know, it's. I mean, they still have gas stations
Yeah.
here where the attendant comes out and pumps your gas for you. You know, it's like.
New Jersey.
You got one of those people.
Well, we have free parking at the beach. Like the beach, there's no pay parking or anything. Everything's free parking. It's like, I mean, they gouge on everything else, but you know, parking is free. A jar of peanut butter is $11, but you know, it's like parking.
Water.
Actually, I think the busiest Costco in the world is the Maui Costco. Is what they say. The busiest one. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks everyone for joining us. Kind of a sluggish little day, but tomorrow got that big Texas Baylor game. Boy, I wonder who we're going to pick in that one. Rod, you want to give out your Texas Baylor pick? Any prediction here before it, since you're not going to be here?
Give me Baylor. Give me Baylor.
Money line for your parlays?
Yeah, money line for your parlays for sure.
Who's home in that?
Is the line out yet? Probably not.
Oh God, no! But it's like I'm gonna guess if it's at Texas, it's gonna be like 8 or something. You know, because Baylor's gets no respect from the books, and Texas always way over bet. This will be the game.
Probably if it's at Texas, I see it being like 7 points.
Yeah, it's at Texas. It's gonna be like 7 or 6.5. It's gonna be like 6.5, 7, 8. Baylor's gonna ring them.
Even 9. I'd say that.
No, it's not gonna be 9. It's gonna be less than 9. It's gonna be less, and it's gonna be like people are gonna be like, oh, all the sharp YouTube channels are gonna be on Texas. They're all gonna get run over. It's like, what was it? So like the argument I had with Jesse in the Facebook group about his Bucks pick against, like, who are they playing? Like the Sixers, right? It's like at Milwaukee. Like this is like, you know, he revealed a giant secret for us, you know? I mean, the Sixers are like 3-43 on the road. It's like, and they've covered twice. It's like, you know, like he's revealed this big secret. I mean, we all had the same pick, you know, and Jesse's a great guy. I like him. He's been around with us forever. He's all mad at me now. Hopefully he comes back, but all mad. But it's like, you know, all the sharps were on Philly. It's like, those aren't sharps. Those guys are clowns, man. It's like, how many people watch their shows, and how many people visit those sites compared to us? It's like, pretty much tells you your answer. If they were so sharp, don't you think everybody would be glued to their computer to find out, you know, yeah, my broker's TF Hutton. When I worked at Shearson Lehman Brothers back in the day, and we merged with E.F. Hutton, and when all the Hutton guys came in, we started, what are you guys talking about?